So I think you know if you're in a high conflict divorce situation because you've probably had a high conflict marriage and you're probably trying to break free of that marriage. And it could be for a number of reasons. A lot of times your spouse may have mental health issues, bipolar, borderline personality, narcissism, and those things going on can make a divorce high conflict. Also, addiction issues, whether it's alcoholism or, we have an opioid crisis in our country, could be any kind of addiction, could be abuse, domestic violence, coercion, control issues, emotional, verbal abuse going on. Could be with your children, abuse, abandonment, neglect. Those issues can tend to make for a higher conflict divorce. So I think it's important when false accusations are made to always be the spouse or the other parent who's taking the high road. I think judges and court commissioners respect people who are honest and genuine, and they're being reasonable in their requests of the court, meaning they're asking the court to make a ruling on what the court can actually make a ruling on, and take a reasonable stance. So I think it's important to present evidence that shows that you have taken the high road. Say, for example, there's text messaging going on, and maybe it's through an app called Our Family Wizard, and you're the one who is continually showing the other parent dignity and respect. The court's going to think highly of you in that situation. So, your mental health during your divorce, especially if it's a high conflict divorce, is imperative. And in any divorce, really, we think of it as the death of a relationship. So some people put it on par with losing a family member who's passed away in terms of the trauma and the grief and the loss that people go through. And so it's important to give yourself grace, give yourself really some compassion and understanding. Avoid things like over drinking, alcohol. Really exercise heightened self-care. Surround yourself with people who care about you, who aren't either, number one, celebrating the divorce, like, oh, it's about time, but also aren't against the divorce if that's what's best for you. People who believe in you and your future and who are just there for you thick and thin. I think you learn who's not there for you and listen to that. Listen to your gut, listen to your instincts, listen to your intuition. And I would say turn to faith too, a higher power of some sort that you may have in your life that can carry you through the trauma and the loss and the grief. And also, if you're dealing with a high conflict spouse, walking you through to the other side. And there is another side. I distinguish between the term settlement and true, deep, meaningful resolution. And ideally, when you're divorcing, you're going to reach that really deep, meaningful, durable resolution where you're at peace. I think that's always the goal. But sometimes in a divorce, we find that it becomes more transactional, that it's better to just compromise and come to a settlement for peace of mind's sake so you can move forward with your life and start rebuilding and restructuring your family and so forth. What's important, I think, is that when you decide to settle, that you have clarity. If you're in the early stages of your divorce process, sometimes people are in a cloud, a sort of fog. They're not thinking clearly. It's important to not make life-changing decisions when you're in that state of mind. So I think it's okay to compromise and settle, even if it means not reaching a true, meaningful, deep resolution, if it's mindful, if you've really thought it through and it's voluntary, you're not being forced into anything. when you sign on that dotted line. If you have any questions about what it might look like working through a high conflict divorce or divorce in general, contact us at clearwaterpnw.com.